Hey guys, I am Mansoor. Welcome to our YouTube channel, The Coders Bridge. Today we will be seeing about convolutional neural network. So this will be the first video, like a video in our convolutional neural network sessions. So in previous session we have saw about the basic math intuition and the what is that a practical implementation of many things such as optimizers. What are the different kinds of optimizers? Why exactly optimizers is used? Weight updation techniques. What how the weights are updated in front and back propagation, right? And we also saw about what is artificial neural network, and we did a practical explanation in what is that churn modeling as well. And we also see optimizers, um, like exactly how the optimizers will be helping us, and what are the different types of activation functions we have, what is global minima, what is maximum, like global maxima. So many things we have covered. So to be frank, like we covered all the basic things in the deep learning techniques. So we even covered what is CNN. So this will be the first video on CNN. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I will suggest you to please do watch it, the basic part, before coming to the CNN, because in this thing we will be not going in depth to the basics. We will be just focusing on the concepts of CNN, like max pooling, data augmentation, and filters. What is P1 layer, right? So we will be going in that way. So please do watch the basic videos if you are not clear in those part. Okay, so let's start the video. Normally, convolutional neural network, we have three different kinds of neural network, like artificial neural network, convolutional neural network, and recurrent neural network. So normally convolutional neural network is mainly used for image classification or object detection kind of techniques, right? Because this is familiar in that way. For example, if you see this pattern itself, this is the similar pattern of this is how the convolutional neural network will be working on. So here you can able to see, right, this is an image, this is a handwritten image. As I told, right, this used for image classification. uh, our model needs to identify what is the exact thing which is written over here. So in this scenario, as per visualization, we can easily say this is an 2, there's a number excuse me, this is a numerical number 2. That's why what exactly we are doing is, here we are applying one first convolutional layer, right? In this convolutional layer we are sizes, the actually the input size is of 28 cross 28 cross 1. This one indicates this black and white, this is a grayscale image, right? If it is a color image, here it will be 28 cross 28 cross 3, right? So now what we are doing, we are splitting or we are extracting the image into 24 channels, right? So in this thing, here we can see, right, convolutional layer 1, convolutional layer 2. We have two convolutional layer. Between two convolutional layer we have something known as pooling, right? So I will be not like going inside what is pooling. We have different like kinds of pooling techniques, like max pooling, pin pooling. We have many two different types of poolings also, but I will be not going in depth in that thing. Just consider, like as we saw in our artificial neural network, like why dropout is required. Dropout is required to increase the what is that accuracy, and to not met the what is that uh, like overfitting or underfitting data, right? So to avoid that, we use something known as dropout. The same thing in convolutional neural network. We will be using max pooling. So I will be explaining why max pooling is required and how can we implement that. So as of now, just consider there are two convolutional neural network layers, convolutional layers. In between that, we have max pooling layers of 2 cross 2. Okay, here we are having 5 cross 5 convolutional layer 1. And we have other 5 cross 5 convolutional layer 2. Between that we have one max pooling layer, and obviously we should have a fully connected layer, right? So at the end we will be having a dense layer or fully connected layer. So between that fully connected layer or and convolutional neural network 2, we have another max pooling layer. So obviously in fully connected layer it will be a dense network. In dense network we need to give the activation functions. So here we are using ReLU activation functions. And so whenever we are applying the dense network, right, we will be flattening the data. So now our motive is to identify whether the handwritten number, what is that exact handwritten number. Like normally the number starts from 0 and it will be going till 9, right? we have 10 numbers. If it is like 234, we will be having 234, right? So in that case, here we have only one number, which is 2. So that's why our output will be of 10 output layer. So the output layer will be in the size of 10, because it's starting from 0 to 9. So this is our output layer. Here you can see, right, the output size layer is 10. In this thing, what happened after flattening the layer, we will be passing to the last fully connected layer with 10 outputs, right? Here it will be giving you the exact, for example, just consider this is number 2, right? So in this thing, from 0 to 9, all the thing will be all the output layers will be 0, only 2 will be 1, right? Because this number denotes 2. For example, here if our output, if our input is something 5, from 0 to 9, all the outputs layer will be giving 0 except 5, right? So I know, like, you will be getting confused, like this is the first session, so I will be just going one slide forward to explain you how the image is getting converted into layer, like how the image is getting processed in this convolutional layers and max pooling layers to identification process, right? So let me just go to the next slide. I just show this slide to understanding what happens in CNN. Okay, so don't get confused. We will be seeing each and every part, and we'll be doing multiple practical session as well in CNN. Okay, so this is a convolutional neural network image, a simple kind of image. Here we can able to see, right, at like a cherry is here. Like we have two things. One is a grayscale, other one is a colored image. Like this of, just consider this input images of 4 cross 4 size. So for grayscale, they will be nothing like 4 cross 4. Here the size is 4 cross 4 cross 1. As I told before, for grayscale, we don't have any colored value, that's why it will be 1, obviously. For colored image, right, we will be having 3 what is that, layers. For example, here we can see, right, this is R layer, this is G layer, and this is B layer, this RGB layer. And the same image we have, there is no change in the image, we have the same image, but it is in color, it is in grayscale, it is in color, right? That's why we will be adding one more layer, cross 3. This 3 indicates RGB. Okay, just keep in mind, if it is a grayscale, it will be cross 1. If it is colored image, it will be cross 3. Okay, let's move over here now. Before going to anything, for example, in this example itself, how the image will be, how our model will be understand whether it is 2, whether it is 5, whether it is 3, whether it is 0. How? So it will be first detecting the outliers. No, we can't say outliers. It will be detecting the skeleton of the particular image. For example, I'm giving one image. Okay, let's go to this. I'm giving this car image. Okay, so when I am giving this car image, our model will be first applying filters. We will be applying many filters, like horizontal filters, vertical filters. What happen in vertical filters? So this is our input image. Our input image is scattered into a 6 cross 6 matrix. Okay, so when our input image in 6 cross 6, and when we are applying a vertical filter, it will be identifying the vertical lines. So this pillar, the pillar of this car, right, this A pillar and B pillar, so this pillars will be identified. This from the tire to the bonnet, it will be getting identified. Here also from tire to bonnet, it will be getting identified. Then when we are applying the horizontal filter, right, this particular roof and this particular bumper will be identified in the horizontal filter. So like this, our whenever we are passing a image to our model, first it will be applying many filters to it to identify the skeleton. So normally skeleton is nothing but a combination of vertical and horizontal axis, right? So when we apply vertical filter, it will be giving you the vertical like coordinates. When you apply horizontal filter, it will be giving the horizontal coordinates. Simple. So when you get this coordinates, for example, when you get from a tire to roof, from here also from tire to roof, and when we are applying horizontal filter from like this end to this end of the roof, and from this end to this end of the bonnet, then we can easily identify this is a car, right? The same thing is happening over here. It's nothing but we will be having our input image, and we will be multiplying our data with a filter, and we will be getting some value. So this is completely a what is that, theoretical session. Don't get confused, we will be seeing this in practical as well. So now the same data we are having it over here. Now let me explain how this particular table get derived. Okay, so what happened, right? What is the size of a vertical filter? Vertical filter size is 3 cross 3, right? 3 rows and 3 columns. So we can take this multiplication. So this is our input data of 6 cross 6. Okay, for what we will be doing is, first we will be taking 3 cross 3 from this entire 6 cross 6. Okay, so first I am taking this three values and I will be multiplying with all the values over here. So just consider we have this value, right? This 0. So we are multiplying this 0 with this 1. 0 into 1, 0. So plus, and then we'll be taking this value 0 into 0, 0. Right? And again we are taking this 0 into minus 1, 0. Right? This 3 value becomes 0. So same applies for the second row as well. 0 into 2, 0. 0 into 0, again it's 0. 0 into minus 2, again it's 0. We'll be moving for the third row. 0 into 1, 0. 0 into 0, 0. 0 into minus 1, 0. Same, because we have in this particular 3 cross 2, every element is 0. That's why even though we have the value, so when we are multiplying any number with 0, we are getting 0. So once multiplication is done, we will be summing up the entire value. So once we sum up the value, right, we will be coming to a value, a product sum, right? So we will be entering that value in this first coordinate. Okay, so we entered now. So now how, like, first value, the first index value is filled. What about the other things? For other things, what we will be doing is we will be just moving one forward, one stride forward. Stride is nothing but this is a stride. This is a stride. This complete vertical position is a stride. Okay, so what, so normally when you see in this image itself, right, these are the zero, these are the ones. So in this image, these zero parts are nothing but the white images. These ones are nothing but the black images. For example, um, so wherever we have zero, this indicates this complete portion is white. Wherever we have one, this complete portion is black. So when we apply vertical filter, we can able to identify how, like, what are the vertical coordinates are there in our image. That's why we are going to apply this. Okay, so now by using this vertical filter of 3 cross 3, we successfully derived to one point of our vertical edges, right? So our motive is to derive the vertical edges. Okay, so now we got one. So what we are doing, we are moving one stride forward. So this red indicates the previous thing, this green indicates the current stride. So in current, what we did, we just moved one cell or one stride forward. So now if you see, same, we are doing the same multiplication. 0 into 1 is 0. 0 into 0 is 0. 1 into minus 1 is minus 1. So this is the minus 1. So 0 into 2 is 0. 0 into 0 is 0. 1 into minus 2 is minus 2. And 0 into 1 is 0. 0 into 0 is 0. And 1 into minus 1 is minus 1. So when we sum all this, we will be getting some value which is minus 1. So like this, what we will be doing is, so now before we did for this 3 cross 3, now we are doing this for this 3 cross 3. In the next stride, we will be moving 1 and we will be doing for this 3 cross 3. So like this, we will be moving one stride forward and we will be completing the entire calculation of this matrix. Okay, so when we complete that, our matrix will be something look like this. So this will be our input layer, right? I told, right, 0 indicates the white and 1 indicates the black. So when we are applying the 6 cross 6 matrix with the 3 cross 3 filter with one stride, we will be getting the vertical edges. Vertical edges are nothing but we will be like getting so this is the vertical edge, right? So just consider we are getting this vertical edge. Now we got this position of the image, right? So when we are doing that particular thing, we will be coming to a what is that, so when we apply this vertical filter for entire input layer, we will be coming to this particular vertical edges matrix. This is nothing but 4 cross 4. Okay, so what we will be doing here is, if you see, right, this entire part is 0, this entire part is 0, and this is -1 and -1, right? So now here we will be applying, yeah. So like I was telling, right, what we will be doing. So here, right, we will be just multiplying our input layer with the vertical layer, and we will be getting this vertical edges. So once we get the vertical edges, how like we will be identifying like what edge, like where our edges, vertical edges, for example, where is our car image, so where this exactly exists. So for this thing, right, we will be applying something known as min max scalar. Min max scalar is nothing but, so what is the like a range of our colored and black and white images. So for black and white, it will be starting from, like, normally the what is that, RGB scale starts from 0 to, it will be going till 255, right? The minimum value is 0, the maximum value is 225. If you see here, 0 is greater than -4, because the less value in this entire thing is -4. So what we'll be doing, we will be applying min max scalar. Min max scalar is nothing but, so if we have the minimum value, we will be giving the like maximum value to that. So what is the maximum value of -4 is 0. What is the maximum value of 0? It's obviously, like, it's not in negative. The maximum value will be 255. That's what we are doing it over here. So this -4 will, the maximum value is 0. For 0, the maximum value is 225, because our color ranges from 0 to 255. So that's what we are doing it over where, once we are applying the min max scalar, right, here we can able to see some stripes or some color image, like some images are there. Here also we have some images. In between there is completely 0. That's what our image is identified. Here you can see, right? So we have the vertical images are nothing but, this is one vertical, this is one vertical, right? So that means here should be some data, here should be some data. That's what it is identified in this way. 255 is nothing but, here we have some data, and in left side we also have some data, and right side also we have some data. In between we haven't identified, because in between there will be only horizontal axis will be there, right? So the vertical axis will be in the edges, right? So this is the motive of applying vertical filter. So for horizontal filter, same, we need to just transpose this complete matrix, and we will be performing the thing, right? And one more thing, so here if you notice one thing, our input layer was of 6 cross 6, but our output layer is of 4 cross 4. Like our like input layer and output layer, there is a difference between the size, right? So how can we identify the size? There is a formula which is called n minus f plus 1. So n is nothing but the size of the input layer, which is 6. F is nothing but the size of the filter, which is 3. This one is coming from here, which is nothing but 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So our vertical edges of the output layer size will be 4 cross 4. Okay. So here we have one more thing, which is, for in some scenarios, right, we can't compromise with the size of our input, the size of the output, right? Because if our input is of 6 cross 6 or 8 cross 6 or 8 cross 8 or 10 cross 10, whatever it may be. So if in some business scenarios or in a real-time project, if you need the same size of input in the vertical edges of the output also, we will be something introducing something, a concept known as padding. So we have many things like, what is that, zero padding, right? So there are different techniques in padding also. We will be seeing that in our next session, like why padding is required and what is the use of doing padding in our um, what is that, CNN. Because normally, right, zero padding is nothing but, so here it is 6 cross 6, here it is 4 cross 4. For the rest of this 2 cross 2, we will be adding zeros. So we, other technique also we have, which is neighbor padding. So we will be getting the value from the neighbor element. So we will be seeing that in the next session. So this session is completely about an understanding of convolutional neural network, how the objects are identified, what is the thing which we are doing in convolutional neural network. So I am just precising it again. Convolutional neural net is nothing but is used for object detection or image classification. So once we are getting the object or image, which is an input, we will be just uh, what is that, processing that image in multiple convolutional layers, max pooling layers, and dense layers are nothing but to derive that image. So we need to apply the, what is that, activation functions at the end. That's why we need a fully connected layer or the dense layer. So in this example we are analyzing whether it is and what number it is. That's why we have the output layer is from 0 to 10, right? So just consider whether we are identifying it is a dog or cat, then how many layers will be in output? There will be two, right? So obviously if it is a cat, the cat element will be 1, dog will be 0. If it is a dog, dog will be 1 and cat will be 0, right? So this is the skeleton of convolutional neural network. And for RGB is nothing but, for RGB we will be adding, so the one more element will be added, which is cross 3. For grayscale it is cross 1, so it doesn't matter. So normally vertical filter is used to identify the vertical edges by multiplying with the input images, right? For horizontal filter we will be just transposing this, and we will be finding the horizontal filter. So the at the end, what is the use of vertical filter is to find the vertical edges. Okay, I hope like you guys understand why we are using this technique, which is, what is that, min max scalar. Min max scalar is nothing but converting the values to its maximum values, right? We are just converting a minimum value to maximum value. If you see in this image, minimum value is 0, maximum value is 255. That's why we changed to 255. But in this thing, minimum value is -4 and the maximum value is 0. That's why we are changing it here to 0. That is the use of minimum maximum scalar. By using this, we can easily able to identify the vertical edges of the particular image in image classification or object detection techniques. So in our next session, we will be seeing what is padding, what is max pooling, what is data augmentation, what are the different kinds of operations happening. So stay tuned. If you like this video, please hit a like button and subscribe to our channel. Until then, thank you. Bye bye.